Hello guys, you're welcome to the Minority Report Nigeria. I am Dozie.
And I'm Walter.
Today we are going to be talking about something that is incredibly controversial. Recently, particularly Pride Month being last month, there was a lot of talk about pedophiles who apparently choose to want to be identified as MAPs, minor attracted persons, um, wanting to take part in Pride Month and having their own pride flag, essentially wanting to be a part of the LGBT community. And there was naturally a lot of backlash and
Wait, first of all, let's address the fact that that umbrella has gotten way too big and too many acronyms. We just don't need another letter added.
Oh wow!
Okay.
We made it enough for how many genders? 70 something, 100 and something. It's hard to tell these days. So yes, that is basically what we're going to talk.
But yeah, these people are there's first of all there seems to be the part of the backlash is coming from this sense that they want to legitimize themselves by calling themselves MAPs, minor attracted persons, as opposed to pedophiles. And there is this whole resentment from the LGBT community, especially regarding the fact that this whole pedophilia image is something that the LGBT community has been fighting for years to get out of. This impression that gay men and gay women are predators, who prey on children. And this is a narrative that they have fought for a long time to get out of. And then you get out of it, and then in June Pride of 2018, you start hearing these people who have owned this thing about them, trying to identify with the LGBT community and coming up with a pride flag and making themselves seem more acceptable with this MAPS label and all that. And it feels very, to me, problematic, because this is something, this may be something you want to be. This may be something you want to identify as. But can you tweet far, far away from the LGBT community? I mean, this is something...
Yeah, okay. Me personally, while I do understand the backlash and understand the backlash from the LGBT community, I feel that generally this moralistic outrage everybody seems to have whenever there's conversation or anything that's to do with pedophilia, I think it's largely useless. Because listen, any conversation that should be had around pedophilia at this point, I think, the framing should always be legal, because a moralistic outrage doesn't help anybody. I mean, monster, for example, is not... You cannot take anybody to court or try somebody for being a monster. It's utter nonsense. And I feel so in some way that in being, just insane whenever the question of pedophilia comes up, I feel in many ways that it's judgment without engagement, and it's wanting to is reclusing ourselves from actually dealing with this thing, which is a clear and present problem. And in talking about pedophilia, I think it's incredibly important to make the distinction between a pedophile and a sex offender. I think those two are two different things that shouldn't even be conflicted, because last year, what even sent me on the trail of learning a bit more about pedophilia was last year. It was last year, right, when I came across this documentary on Netflix, The Pedophile Next Door. And you find that there are actually people who realize, okay, I am a pedophile, and they go out and seek help. If you are tarring everybody with the same brush, what are we doing really? Because we are not making this distinction, and all the research shows that isolation and dealing with the backlash and discrimination that comes with being a pedophile makes pedophiles more likely to act out on these predilections. So our outrage is not helping anybody, particularly not the children we keep waving like a red flag.
Even though, get your point, But I just think the reaction of the LGBT community today is kind of it's emotional and it's understandable.
It's understandable,
because this is something. And even currently, this is a label you label under. This is a label that you keep getting tired with, and not even in a good sense. You keep getting, and unfairly, you just want to love someone else, and you hear people making the effort to say consent. This is a consensual attraction between two adult people, and then you keep getting relabeled with pedophile and people who want to corrupt our children and all that. That children card, they keep, the homophobes keep waving it so much. It gets to the point where you now find that the thing you have been fighting, the image you have been fighting to get out of, it's now come and roost in your house.
Yeah, but the thing is, the homophobes are not waving that children card because they actually care about the children.
Nobody
to score points. So I feel like, if anything, the LGBT community should be, having dealt with being ostracized or oppression, it should make us a bit more empathetic in a certain sense. Now, I think it's important because whether they're allowed a sit in the LGBT community or not, they will have communities. I just think it's important for them to have these communities out in the open, where it's easier to monitor and it's easier to work, because this LGBT people being offended mostly comes from this sense of this relationship with history, this sense of being a custodian of history, which is also related to the visibility that LGBT people have, particularly gay men. It comes from this ideology of this traumatic part of history of being conflicted, of gay people particularly being conflicted with pedophiles. And the backlash comes from this place of trying to protect the image of the LGBT community. And that's something that stems from visibility. So what makes us think that if pedophiles have this visibility, they will be more conscious of their image and protect it and want to constantly be on their own feet? Because what is going to happen is, if they have more visibility, then there will be a clear divide between the pedophiles and the sex offenders. These are people that are trying to be in society and are actively trying to seek help. There will be a clear divide between them. The representatives of these maps, or whatever they want to call themselves, communities, will want to disavow the sex offenders. We would have a clear divide then, because whether or not they allow this society, they will have these communities, and I think it's better to have it out in the open than in the deepest recesses of the dark web, where there's no sort of control or regulation or anything.
And I get that, but I just feel like if you're going to have a conversation, or if they are seeking this legitimization, why not just do it on a separate forum?
Yeah, of course, that's already valid.
Don't try to attach.
Yeah,
it is the sensibilities are still tender, they are still delicate, and this is still something people are legitimately fighting against.
Yeah,
it's still something that is still used as an unfair brush to tar everyone who's just like there are still some people who, the moment they identify as gay, they start having family members shield their children
away from them. Yeah,
like just saying you're gay means you're an instant danger to their child.
Yeah, children.
So I feel like if you are going to want to have a conversation, like there are some things you just don't emulate. Don't start instantly emulating the LGBT. Creating a flag and wanting to attack, do a pride thing. All those things. These things are still largely an LGBT thing. How about you start from somewhere?
Yeah.
Start having these conversations from, a separate forum, so that we don't people who on a if you're looking at it from the outside, it doesn't seem like it is. Oh yes, we said it. Should you people have child abusers? Finally, the child abusers amongst are now coming up, and you're not encouraging them. Yes, we can have a talk.
But that's the thing. Like, if they have more conversation about it, because having the propensity for something and actually doing something another thing, like that's why I keep saying that the framing for the conversation around pedophilia should be a predominantly legal one. Because when we're talking about crime now, there's for something to be a crime, there has to be the actus reus and the mensura. The actus reus is the actual act, and the mensura, which is the mental element of it. I think about stealing something doesn't make me a thief until you actually steal.
Sure.
So, being a pedophile, there needs to be that clear demarcation between being a pedophile and being a sex offender.
I think most of this primarily comes from redefining the word pedophile.
Yeah.
Because for a long time,
we conflict everything.
Has just been an abuser of the child. In fact, it was actually from that recent that article that I actually made the decision. Like, okay, that's true. You can be a pedophile, but not a sex
because
offender.
there are actually people who actively seek help and counseling.
I just feel like, you know, the whole thing comes. You can start from redefining what a pedophile is. You know, I don't know how that.
It's also really alarming to me that, you know, there is no universally accepted definition of who a minor is. Like the UN, for example, there's a definition of alien that's accepted all over the world. There's actually a definition by UN for a minor, but all these countries have, because it's just
and that's actually true, because I remember one time on Twitter a long time ago when we were having a conversation. Some guy was talking about how another man had sex with a boy. I think the child was like 15 or so. But they were having this conversation like, oh, it's Ross. You know, so the guy Ross the child. And I'm like, I'm sorry, you keep saying boy. How old is this boy? He's like 15. And I'm like, and you're having this conversation so flippantly, like it's, you know, normal hookup. And we're like, well, Nigeria doesn't have any laws that no, I was coming up on the side of statutory rape. That's statutory rape, and they were like, no, Nigeria has no laws against statutory rape. And I'm like, okay, but even at that, this clearly is sex offense. Is being a pedophile. Like, please, all those things you're talking, that's English. And I'm like, but that is really.
And those same people will be so outraged when they hear the word pedophile. That's why I feel like there's a great deal of hypocrisy when it comes to this definition of, you know, when it comes to our conversation about being a pedophile, because if we start to really talk about being a sex offender in the research of the world, a lot of people are going to be tagged. And we tag the word marriage to a lot of things and give it this layer of respectability like icing. But a lot of marriages, particularly in the north of the country, and you know, in other parts of the world where that are predominantly Islamic states, those are normalized sex offenses.
Let me tell you something.
Rape.
There's one country, I don't know if it's Malaysia or one country like that. It's actually recent. And one of the politicians in the country was, and this is very hilarious, he was saying that they should focus on that the legislation should focus on banning homosexuality and stop hounding those who are into child marriages. And the outrage was very sweet. Like I'm sorry, what you're trying to use one issue to distract from something that is even graver. Like, and I want to ask you now, like, what kind of ridiculous thing is it? How do you say, like, it has become, it's funny. Like you said, it's funny how this sex offense, this pedophilia is actively being propagated in most countries. And under you know, legal, you know,
and those same people will be outraged. That's why it annoys me so much. So what outrage when you mention pedophile? Oh my god!
You know, like exactly.
Duh.
This something comes. It still comes from the same thing I keep saying. Like, they need to redefine the word pedophile, because it is that word. That word has been so tainted. You know, we don't even. This is like what is practiced in the northern Nigeria.
Yeah.
You know, regular, constantly.
I mean, while I was in Canada, I kept seeing literally, I was seeing babies carrying babies. Like every single time I left school. Like, what the heck? You see, please, I can't. Please. I can't. Like literally, children, their bodies are not even fully formed. They're already mothers. Why? For what? And then all this is normalized. You know, okay. For example, and you know, in Nigeria, I think the stance is minors can get married, but with permission from their parents. When you consider that marriage is premised on masculine agency, then permission is not for the male child, it's for the female child. So an Agbaya can go and marry someone's baby with the consent of her parents. That's basically the stance. And it's crazy. So all this moral outrage, I think, will be better channeled in getting our governments. If you're under 18, do not get married. For every, like, I guess there are what's it called, exceptions. Maybe two like 18-year-old, a 19-year-old. But when you are okay, if you are 30 something and you want to marry someone, wait till he or she or whatever is above the age.
I want to like the other day, Kenge's husband. The love story is so significant in that, and I think they tell that story every now and then about how he met her when she was, I think, 16 or 17,
and
waited
as it should be
till she, was of age before now wedding her. And that is the way, like Jesus. What is even the joy in sleeping with a child, marrying a child, like. So it really makes a kind of hypocrisy out of this outrage of pedophiles who are seeking help but are coming out in the open. And something has to be said for that, actually, that they want to put themselves out there as opposed to be in the dark and just enjoy
as opposed to being in the dark web, where there's no form of control, where there's no form of nobody, you can't trace anybody, nobody knows nothing. Child pornography is being disseminated.
Exactly.
You cannot trace. So I think that community, having a community out in the open where we can see them and okay, this is representative 1, this is representative 2. It would foster a sense of accountability on their part. So there's going to be that mindfulness of the image. There's going to be that sense of wanting to protect the image, and the natural consequence of that would be that these maps will make a clear boundary, will do everything to make a clear boundary between themselves and sex offenders.
And I was having this very dark negative thought about the sinister side of this whole outrage. And I'm thinking those people, because of course there are people in the LGBT communities
who date prepubescent children.
Exactly. And I'm thinking some of this outrage might come from the fact that these people being out in the open and defining themselves so clearly would show these other people off as well
you belong to both communities.
And I remember also when that post was made on the Hilarious page on Instagram, I think I saw some comments where, and that's another thing that affected me, that made me backpedal on the outrage I felt. Where because I didn't see the tweets of some people like, my God, see the tweets, people are saying murder, kill, all this. And I wanted to the reactions. I'm like, wait, what?
They actually like, even in that documentary I watched last year. There was one guy who was brave enough to actually show his face. And after listening, death threats and stuff. And this is somebody that was actively seeking help. He doesn't want to hurt anybody. So what is this outrage about really? Who are you trying to protect? Because wouldn't you rather have this, you say, okay, I have this from now, I want help, as opposed to everybody keeps quiet? And because people, when we say pedophile and stuff, people usually, or want to talk about sex offenders, people usually think he's one faraway monster, one boogeyman. It is your uncle, it's aunties, it's those people. And you will not know.
This book that they're currently reading, this there was something that hurt my spirit in one
the
of
girl.
Yes, that it wasn't just that her uncle molested her for years.
She was blamed for it.
But she was blamed for it.
And that is the worst.
And she was not just blamed for it. Years later, the man got reintegrated into the family. Like this is
for it. And like that kind of baggage. Personally, I have my own personal experience. The first time I was sexually abused was I was 3 years old, and it was a cousin of mine who was actually old enough to be my mother. She was, fuck it. So the age between us was like, I think it's about 16 years or so. She was a lot older than me. And apparently I told my dad, and he sort of maybe I don't know, maybe he didn't believe me or something. But years later, my mom comes into my room one night, and she's like, she just asked me something. That how my dad was just and he mentioned something. Was it true? Was I sexually abused by this person when I was like, yes. And then she started crying, she started apologizing. You know, she had no idea, she had no, should have done something. And that's then I felt this sort of relief, like it was like this burden I didn't even know I was carrying went off my shoulder. There's a guilt you carry for that, and to now have it compounded by the fact that you are being blamed for it. I can't even imagine. I can't even begin to imagine. So, and that's the thing, like, that's why when I say a lot about this, actually people shouting, the children, I'm like, what are you really about? Because I'm very suspect about it. It's the same people that when I'm probably just conflicting things now, but it's best to say it's the same people that when we are talking about instances of rape, when we are talking about instances of rape, they start to say, but men get raped. So then Terry Crews happened, and these are people, men are making fun of him. So when we start waving anything as a flag, men get raped to the children. I get really cynical. What are you really about?
I find those who are always put on the forefront of screaming the children. They're often those who don't pay attention to the children. Yeah. I think the outrage of parents who are always waving these children's card comes from the fact that they themselves don't even have the time to know what is going on with their kids.
They don't want to have this further responsibility.
Exactly, of paying attention to the children. So
yeah, it has been, hopefully this has been a very enlightening conversation.
We are watching.
We'll see what happens.
Because for the fact that these maps community have come this far as to identify with a label, come up with a flag and all that stuff. Well,
community, I mean, is really it's a
website, I think. So
there's a website.
There is.
Wow.
Like, so they it seems like they have an organization. They are organized. They have a target to go and all that.
Yeah. I just feel like, like I said, community is something that's really important for us as humans, and I think it would be better to have them organized in broad daylight so we can see them as opposed to in the dark recesses of the web.
Yeah. So, but
and we should have like really honest, clear-eyed conversations about this, because being outraged every single time, it doesn't achieve anything. We just keep pushing the conversation away. I don't want to deal with it, I don't want to deal with it. But this is clear and present, and we need to deal with it.
This clearly is what we think. Why don't you let us know in the comments after you let us know if this maps community, if this is something that we should engage them in, if this is a conversation we should have, or if we should just keep shutting them out and hope they go away, like just go away.
Which will not happen. So, to come next time on Dozie.
And I will tell you.
Bye!